Bill Mackiben. I had the honor of helping to start 350.org long ago, and it would be so much fun to be with you there in Istanbul. I can't at the moment, family concerns preclude, but I'm there very much in spirit, watching when I can online and following all that you're doing, both because it feels like a family gathering in certain ways, and because what you guys are doing is the most important thing that would be possible to do. Global Power Shift is one of the crucial gatherings in this planet's history. It sounds odd to say that and grandiose, but it's true. We together, y'all there in that room, and all that you will reach as you go back out across the world, are the people who will figure out how to keep this planet from overheating. Let me talk about, at the beginning, science just a little bit, about where we find ourselves. As you all go to work, it's good to know what the ground on which you walk is. We're not going to stop global warming at this point. Climate change is already well underway. Human beings have burned enough coal and oil and gas to raise the temperature of the planet about a degree. And that's causing enormous problems already. These are some of the biggest problems that the planet's ever faced. The Arctic has melted in the last couple of summers. It's a very, very poor sign. You take one of the 6 or 7 big physical features on Earth and you break it. That's not what you want to be doing. The other big physical systems of the Earth are showing the strain also. The oceans outside, the beautiful Bosphorus down the way from y'all. All the world's oceans are about 30% more acidic than they were 40 years ago. That's because the chemistry of seawater changes as it absorbs all this carbon that we're pouring into the atmosphere. The atmosphere itself changes. Warm air holds more water vapor than cold. The atmosphere is 5% wetter than it used to be. That's why we see a huge increase both in droughts as more water is evaporated into this warmer air, and in floods as that water comes down in downpours. And every day now, there's some of those symptoms on evidence around the planet: drought, forest fires across a parched landscape, or alternately, flooding so severe that the cars are floating down the streets, and graveyards eroding, and all the things that tell us that the planet is out of balance. We do not lack scientific warning. Scientists have been telling us about this for a long time. I know because I wrote the very first book for a general audience about global warming almost 25 years ago, in 1989. Okay? So if I have a sense of just how long that warning has been going out, and a sense of just how little has so far been done about it, that's the tough part, not the science. The science we know about, we've been warned, we could act, we know what to do, we understand how renewable energy works, we know we can scale it up, we have the tools that we need. What we don't have is the political will to put those tools to use to make this transition. And that's why we started 350.org 5 years ago now. We started it because we understood that reason and argument alone were not going to carry this battle. That we'd already won the argument, the science was clear, but we were losing the fight. And the reason we were losing the fight was because we weren't as powerful as the other side. In the developed world, mostly that other side, where we all know the world, is the fossil fuel industry, the coal and gas and oil industry. It is determined to keep us from ever making the changes that we need to make in the rich world's energy systems, and is determined to prevent the developing world from leapfrogging past fossil fuel and straight on to a renewable future. Their business is at stake, and they are the most profitable business in the history of the world, so they will fight. And they will always have more money than we have. We started 350.org to try and neutralize that money advantage, to try and build instead a movement to find other kinds of money, other currencies to work in: passion, spirit, creativity. spend our bodies as if they were money, go to jail, do what we can. It has been amazing over these last 5 years to watch that global movement grow, to know that there are people in virtually every country on earth, every country we think except North Korea, that have taken part in events that are tied into this network. It's accomplished remarkable things already. There are people all over the world who understand about climate change that otherwise would not, and who understand it at a kind of deeper level than they did before. One of the great things about GPS is that everybody comes from every corner of the world. And of course, this problem looks different from every corner of the world. There are places on this planet where people use way too much energy. And there are places on this planet where people have access to not enough. There are places where governments have begun, a few, to take a real lead in change. Places like, say, Germany, scaling up its renewable energy fast. And many more of us come from places where governments have done little or nothing in order to address this problem. There are places where the fossil fuel industry is dominant, like it is in the United States or Canada. There are places where the fossil fuel industry is the government, where, in essence, governments own and control and exploit huge quantities of fossil fuel themselves. Each of these is a different battleground on which to fight, but the fight remains remarkably the same across them. We need to make people understand all this, that we face the gravest problems we ever face in this planet. This is the biggest shift ever, and we've got to keep reminding people of that, and reminding them, telling them, forcing them to get off the fossil fuel very, very quickly before we do more damage. That would be your job as you head. You know the political fabric of the places that you come from. You know how your institutions and politics and journalism work. You know how to take advantage of that, especially because you've got the resources now of this vast network to tap into. We all work together at 350.org and with all our allies. It's not a kind of top-down operation. It's just the same way that we don't want a few huge centralized power plants sending electricity out and belching smoke. So we don't want some 350 headquarters telling people what to do. We're more like that world that we imagine coming, where there are millions of solar panels and they're all tied into each other, and that's how we get power. Well, you guys in this movement, you're the solar panels. You're out there building the energy, doing the things on the ground, and we're all connected up into this grid where that energy can flow, where it needs to flow at the best times, where we can all help you when you have good fights on, and you can help the rest of us. And it's incredibly inspiring for me just to think of you all there, ready to go to work now, trained up by some of the best trainers there ever were. I've worked with many of these people, and they're amazing, inspiring, skilled, ready to go. Don't doubt for a minute that you're capable of doing any of this. When we started 350.org, we had no idea what we were doing, and I mean none. I'm a writer, I'm not an organizer. There were working with me 7 college undergraduates on 7 college students. They were great, and they're smart, most of them were in that room, but they had no idea what they were doing either. And we just went to work, and that's what you will do, and as you go to work, you will transform this world. I'm just one more part of this work, and I very much look forward to getting to see many of you where you are in person over the years, and getting to stand shoulder to shoulder with you in this fight, and getting to do all that we can. I want to finish on a very realistic note. We cannot guarantee that we're going to win this fight. It is incredibly tough. We waited a long time to get started. I mean, the Arctic melted last summer. That's not a good sign. But I'm confident because I've been all over the planet meeting people like you these past years and been so in awe of their dedication and creativity and hard work. I can't guarantee we're going to win, but I can guarantee absolutely that we are going to fight. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful fight, the most important fight in human history, the most dramatic and for the highest stakes. And to know that I'm getting to fight alongside you guys, that we all together make up in many millions more beside us, a kind of team that is going out there to try to do what it can to turn the tide in these most important battles. Can't guarantee we're going to win. Can guarantee we're going to fight. Very much look forward to that fight. Thank you all.